to lesson number 5. Before we really begin, I'd just like to say that you should be listening to these. All right, the way that this is working is that you're taking the messages from the book. The review questions are a consolidated version of what's in the book. You should be doing the book, the lessons yourself, one a day, every day. But at the same time, this is just an enhancement by essentially writing books in your subconscious mind and stacking them up in your peaceful side of the library. So we're just building up the number of messages. It's kind of like overloading the subconscious mind with positive messages. So in order to do that, you're going to have to do these several times. So you don't just listen to them once and then go to the next one. You listen to the first lesson maybe 5 to 15 times. You listen to the second lesson the same number of times, and then the same goes with this lesson. So lesson number 5, and we'll change the inductions around a little bit, but for this one we'll keep it pretty much the same. And if you're ready, everybody get into your positions, in your reclined positions. And now just focus on the sound of my voice as you follow my instructions, and we'll just gently relax ourselves down into that state of deep, peaceful relaxation. And take a deep breath in. Close your eyes if you haven't done it already, and exhale slowly, slowly. Let everything just slow down. Let your body become loose, limp, and relaxed. Just feel as if you're surrendering to gravity. Just let all the muscles go loose, like a handful of loose rubber bands. Good. Now, use your imagination, listening to the sound of my voice, going deeper and deeper with every gentle exhale. And now you'll imagine that you're standing in a field, the base of a mountain. Just imagine that you're there in the field, and I'm there with you. And we're going to take a little walk. Well, you'll notice it's a beautiful sunny day. The sun is warm on your skin. The breeze is gentle. And the grasses and the wildflowers that make up this field are just gently rocking back and forth, back and forth. And the sun is warm on you. And we continue walking, and you hear the sound of a babbling brook. You become curious and walk over to the brook, and you'll see there's a stream that comes from the mountain. The mountain just behind the field. And you stick your hand in the water, and down next to the water, and stick your hand in, and notice how cold it is, this mountain spring water. How crystal clear it is. Good. Now, because the stream is coming from the mountain, we want to walk up the mountain, we'll just follow along the stream. And as we walk up, in walking up the path that leads to the top of the mountain, walking alongside the stream, you'll notice the trees and the sunlight coming through the leaves. The wind's still blowing gently. The leaves move and rustle, little gusts. And we continue walking up the mountain, and we find a fallen tree. It's perfect for sitting down. And we notice as we sit down on the fallen tree that you can see down to the meadow below, the wildflower meadow that we just walked out of. Take in the view, the valley. You'll see other mountains surrounding it. Good. Let's continue up the mountain as we walk. Feel yourself going upwards, upwards, upwards up the mountain. See the different trees, the maples, the pine trees. As we continue going up the mountain, you see a small rabbit cross the path in front of you. And we continue walking up, up, up. As the trees get thinner and thinner, they become more like cedar trees, smaller and smaller, growing between rocks. As we continue going up to the top of the mountain, it now opens up to just a rock top. And as we walk up that path to the very tippy top of the mountain, you'll see a sign. That sign says, "Ask a question into the valley below and see its answer written in the sky above." So now you're thinking about the most important question you'd like to ask right now. And now that you've settled on that question, go ahead and ask it into the valley below. And now look up into the sky and see the answer. Good. And now let's begin walking down the mountain. As we begin walking down the mountain, you feel renewed, regenerated as you look out over the vastness of the valley below. As we re-enter the small cedars growing between the rocks, we continue going down, down, down the mountain. And the sun begins to set. And its golden light lights up the trees and its leaves. The branches of the pine trees. And off to the right, you'll see a couple of deer. We walk quietly, walking quietly now, down, down, down the path towards the deer. Notice them chewing on some leaves beneath the trees as we quietly walk by them, becoming more and more relaxed as we do so. And now going deeper and deeper down, begin to hear the sound of the brook again. And we're walking down now through the larger trees, going down now, deeper, deeper, deeper down the path, back into the field. And as the sun begins to set over the mountains and an orange glow lights up the sky, the blueness above it turning darker and darker, you feel yourself relaxing into the wildflower meadow, relaxing into the grasses as they wave back and forth in the breeze. Back and forth in the breeze. Good. In a moment, I'd like for you to imagine the number 5 as I count from 5 down to 1. You'll see the number 5 slowly fading off into the distance. And as the number fades away, your mind becomes relaxed, just like your body's become relaxed. And as the number fades away, your mind becomes quieter and quieter and quieter. You're seeing the number 5 now. Watch the number 5 as it slowly fades and fades. And now the number 4. See the number 4 and just allow it to fade into the distance. The number 3. See the number 3 and allow it to fade. To see the number 2 and just allow it to fading. And now the number 1. See the number 1 as it fades and fades to nothing, nothing, nothing. Good. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you go. It's just a continuing process, becoming more and more relaxed with every gentle breath you take. You continue to focus on the sound of my voice as you repeat to yourself inside your mind, Miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light. Listening. I cannot see in darkness. Let the light of holiness and truth light up my mind, and let me see the innocence within. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Repeat in your mind. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. I see through strength the gift of God to me. My weakness is the dark His gift dispels, by giving me His strength to take its place. Miracles are seen in light. Repeat to yourself. Miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in light, and light and strength are one. Light and joy and peace abide in me. Repeat. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the home of light and joy and peace. I welcome them into the home I share with God, because I am part of Him. I am as God created me. Repeat it. I am as God who created me. I will remain forever as I was, created by the changeless like Himself. I am one with Him, and He with me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. Repeat. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me. Repeat. I am as God created me. Now, see the number 5. Imagine that number 5, and slowly let it fade away, fading into the distance. And again, the number 4. See the number 4, and allow it to fade, fade. Good. Number 3. See the number 3, and allow it to fade. Feel yourself relax the number away. 2. See the number 2, and allow it to fade, fade. And the number 1. See the number 1, and just allow it to fade and fade. And 2. Nothing, nothing, nothing. As your mind relaxes and opens up, you can repeat, I am one self, united with my Creator. I am one self, united with my Creator. Serenity and perfect peace are mine, because I am one self, completely whole, and at one with all creation and with God. Salvation comes from my one self. Repeat. Salvation comes from my one self. From my one self, whose knowledge still remains within my mind, I see God's perfect plan for my salvation, perfectly fulfilled. Repeat, I am one self, united with my Creator. Good. Repeat, salvation comes from my one self. I am spirit. Repeat to yourself, I am spirit. I am the Son of God. No body can contain my spirit, nor impose on me a limitation God created not. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Repeat. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. What can my function be but to accept the Word of God, who has created me for what I am and will forever be? I am spirit. Repeat. I am spirit. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Repeat. I will accept my part in God's plan for salvation. Salvation is my only function here. My function here is to forgive the world for all the errors I have made, for thus am I released from them with all the world. Repeat, salvation is my only function here. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation. Repeat, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. I am essential to the plan of God for the salvation of the world, for He gave me His plan that I might save the world. Salvation is my only function here. Repeat, salvation is my only function here. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation. Repeat, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. Good. Now I'm going to count from 5 down to 1. And with every number I say, just feel yourself going deeper and deeper relaxed. 5, relaxing. 4, deeper, deeper. 3, just relax the whole body, head to the toes. 2, going deeper, step, quiet, good. And 1, so relaxed, so comfortable. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good. All the way down now. Still listening to the sound of my voice. Repeat, God's will for me is perfect happiness. Repeat, God's will for me is perfect happiness. God's will is perfect happiness for me, and I can suffer but from the belief there is another will apart from His. I share God's will for happiness for me. Repeat, I share God's will for happiness for me. I share my Father's will for me, His Son. What He has given me is all I want. What He has given me is all there is. God's will for me is perfect happiness. Repeat, God's will for me is perfect happiness. I share God's will for happiness for me. Repeat, I share God's will for happiness for me. God, being love, is also happiness. Repeat, God, being love, is also happiness. Remember, love is happiness, and nothing else brings joy. And so I choose to entertain no substitutes for love. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Repeat. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Love is my heritage, and with it joy. These are the gifts my Father gave to me. I would accept all that is mine in truth. God being love is also happiness. Repeat. God being love is also happiness. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. Repeat. I seek but what belongs to me in truth. God's peace and joy are mine. Rely. Repeat. God's peace and joy are mine. Deeper, deeper. So comfortable. Today I will accept God's peace and joy in glad exchange for all the substitutes that I have made for happiness and peace. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Repeat. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let my own feeble voice be still, and let me hear the mighty voice for truth itself, assured that I am God's perfect Son. God's peace and joy are mine. Repeat. God's peace and joy are mine. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Repeat. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Repeat. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. I am mistaken when I think I can be hurt in any way. I am God's Son, whose self rests safely in the mind of God. To give and to receive are one in truth. Repeat. To give and to receive are one in truth. I will forgive all things today, that I may learn how to accept the truth in me and come to recognize my sinlessness. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Repeat. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. To give and to receive are one in truth. Repeat. To give and to receive are one in truth. I rest in God. Repeat. I rest in God. I rest in God today, and let Him work in me and through me, while I rest in Him in quiet and in perfect certainty. I am as God created me. Repeat. I am as God created me. I am God's Son. Today I lay aside all sick illusions of myself, and let my Father tell me who I really am. I rest in God. Repeat. I rest in God. I am as God created me. Repeat. I am as God created me. Now, feel yourself drifting down deeper and deeper and deeper, just listening to the sound of my voice. And once again, I'd like for you to imagine the mind as being like a large circular cloud, a slow-moving tornado. And in the center of that cloud is a bright white light. But as you stand on the outside of it, you cannot see the light. You reach out your hand and put it into the cloud. Feel the droplets of water building up on your hand and realize the cloud is made of almost nothing. It's just an illusion. So you begin to walk into the cloud, walking into the cloud and feeling its slowness, its musty dampness. Walking closer and closer towards the center, it gets thicker and thicker, more and more difficult to see, but you know that in a moment you'll breach the interior and step into the light. So you deal with the moisture and moldiness, the nastiness of that cloud, the cloud of the mind. And you know you'll overcome it as you now breach through the center wall and enter into the light. Feel the light lifting you up, lifting you, the lightness in your heart, the quiet stillness in your mind as you move up into it. Good. Very good. Now there's a strange thing about the human mind. Once you've been somewhere, you become familiar with it. It's easier to get back. In a moment, I'll count from 1 up to 3. When I say the number 3, you'll open your eyes and return to the room. 1. You'll be bringing all these wonderful feelings and lessons that are now stored in your subconscious mind will begin to interact with your reality, lighting you up from the inside out and shining out into the world. Peace and love you now carry within you. 2, you feel your body as if you're walking up a set of stairs. You feel your body coming back to the energies that it was before the trance began. And now 3, open your eyes. Open your eyes. And you do feel good, don't you?